Hi, everyone. The walls just came crashing down around a carefully maintained lie, didn't they? A friend or confidant just broke ranks and revealed exactly what this person has been hiding from you, exposing the truth they've been protecting through careful stories and strategic omissions. And now they're approaching you in a state of complete mortification because they know their friend betrayed their confidence, and they're caught between rage at being exposed and relief that they don't have to carry the secret anymore. Let me decode what's detonating in the revelation aftermath surrounding your immediate reality. The first absolutely explosive thing breaking through is a friend got tired of watching the deception and decided truth matters more than loyalty. You're probably about to receive information from unexpected source, mutual friend who couldn't stay silent anymore, their close friend who feels guilty about being complicit, someone in their circle who likes you and thinks you deserve to know what's actually happening. And this isn't casual gossip. You might be getting detailed confession about what this person has really been doing, thinking, planning, while presenting completely different story to your face. And the specificity of what you're learning is going to make it impossible to dismiss as rumor because the friend has receipts, has direct knowledge, has been there watching this unfold, and finally reached a breaking point where staying silent felt worse than speaking up. Here's the raw truth about what you're experiencing. The secret being spilled is karmic correction. You're probably dealing with a person who's been manipulating situation through lies of omission or outright deception, seeing someone else while keeping you on the hook, telling different stories to different people, presenting a false version of their circumstances or intentions, and universe is done letting that continue. You might be receiving intervention through their friend precisely because you couldn't see the truth yourself, because you were too close, too trusting, too invested to recognize the patterns everyone around you could see clearly. And this forced revelation is actually protection, even though it feels like devastation, because staying in lie was costing you more than knowing truth will. What's erupting in the karmic correction zones is this person is absolutely furious at their friend for exposing them. You're probably going to witness or hear about massive conflict in their circle betrayed person raging about loyalty, demanding to know why friend violated their confidence, trying to control damage and discredit the information. But their anger is really fear because they know the jig is up. You might be watching them scramble to get to you first, to frame the story before you only hear the friend's version, to minimize what was revealed, to beg you not to believe what you were told. And that desperation is confirmation that whatever their friend said is accurate. Because if it were lies, they'd be calmly denying rather than frantically damage controlling. This reflection demands you examine whether you've been willfully ignorant about inconsistencies you've noticed but explained away, and whether having friend force the truth into the open is actually relief because part of you already knew something was off, but you didn't want to confront it without concrete evidence. You're probably about to experience this person showing up mortified and apologetic. You might be receiving messages or visit where they're trying to explain before you make decisions based solely on what friend told you. And their embarrassment is real because being exposed is humiliating regardless of whether they think they were justified in their deception. You could be witnessing them caught between defending their actions and admitting wrongdoing, trying to find narrative that explains why they lied without making themselves look completely terrible, and watching them struggle to justify the unjustifiable is going to tell you everything about whether they're capable of real accountability or whether they're just trying to manage your perception. What's also combusting is the friend who spilled likely did so because they care about you. You're probably receiving this information from someone who's been watching you be deceived and couldn't stomach it anymore, who values truth over social harmony, who thinks you deserve better than being kept in dark. You might discover ally you didn't know you had. Someone willing to risk friendship and social consequences to do right thing by you. And recognizing that this revelation is gift rather than gossip is important because the messenger is taking real risk to give you information that protects you, even if receiving it hurts. What's threading through the exposure patterns is the secret involves their relationship status or romantic situation. You're probably learning they've been involved with someone else while interacting with you, still with X they claimed was completely over, dating multiple people while telling you they're only seeing you, married or committed when they presented as single. And that romantic deception is what made friend finally break silence because they watched this person lie to your face about something fundamental. You might be discovering whole other relationship you had no idea existed. Complete other life they've been living in, parallel to whatever they've been building with you. And the magnitude of that compartmentalization is going to make you question everything you thought you knew about their character. Um, you're probably about to experience this person trying to blame the friend for ruining everything. You might hear narrative where they're the victim, friend betrayed them, friend is jealous, friend misunderstood situation, friend is causing problems where none existed. And they'll try to make you choose between believing friend versus believing them. You could face pressure to dismiss the revelation as interference, but notice whether they're actually denying the facts or just attacking messenger, because inability to refute specific claims while focusing all energy on discrediting source is tacit admission that the information is accurate, even if they won't explicitly confess. What's particularly significant about what I'm witnessing is the secret involves them talking about you differently than they talk to you. You're probably learning that they've been disparaging you to others, describing your relationship as less serious than they present it to you, mocking aspects of you that they compliment to your face, and discovering that private version of how they view you contradicts public performance is going to hurt differently than other betrayals. So you might be realizing their regard for you is performance, that who they are with you isn't who they actually are, and that revelation about fundamental inauthenticity is going to make you question whether you ever knew them at all or whether entire relationship has been an elaborate act. This reflection demands you examine whether you've been settling for someone who treats you well publicly but doesn't actually respect you privately, and whether you're ready to require that people's actions match their words in all contexts rather than just when you're watching. You're probably going to experience the secret, revealing financial deception. You might learn they've been lying about money, claiming to be more successful than they are, hiding debt, spending money they claimed they didn't have, being financially entangled with someone else. And that economic dishonesty is making friends speak up because they're worried you're going to get hurt practically, not just emotionally. You could discover you've been lied to about their actual circumstances. And recognizing that financial deception always connects to character issues is going to help you understand that this isn't just about money. It's about their willingness to manipulate reality to control your perception. What's also detonating is this person's embarrassment is going to make them avoid you. You're probably going to experience them going silent after initial damage control attempt, hiding because they can't face you now that you know the truth, unable to maintain eye contact or normal interaction because their shame is overwhelming. You might notice them withdrawing from mutual spaces. And while part of you might want closure or explanation, their absence is actually answer, because people who genuinely care about repairing relationships show up and do the work, while people who only cared about maintaining favorable image disappear when image is shattered. The karmic acceleration patterns suggest this revelation is happening at exactly right time to prevent bigger damage. You're probably learning the truth before you made major commitment, before you invested more deeply, before you moved or merged finances or made irreversible decisions based on false information. And recognizing that timing is protective rather than cruel is important. You might have been heading toward major step with this person, and universe deployed their friend to stop you from building life on the foundation of lies. And while it hurts now, this intervention is saving you from much worse pain that would have come from discovering deception after you were further entangled. What's significant is you're going to have to decide what to do with the information. You're probably facing choice about whether to confront them, whether to demand fuller explanation, whether to give them opportunity to tell their side is less than #0, 5 hashes greater than, or whether to simply act on what you've learned and remove yourself from situation. You might be tempted to hear them out, to give them chance to explain in case friend got it wrong, but notice whether you're seeking truth or seeking comfort, whether you actually need more information or whether you're hoping they'll provide explanation that makes this hurt less. This reflection demands you examine whether you're someone who requires closure or whether you can accept that some betrayals don't need extended processing, and whether staying engaged with this person to get answers is actually extending relationship that should have ended the moment the truth came out. Um, you're probably experiencing validation that your instincts were trying to tell you something. You might recognize now that you had suspicions you dismissed, questions you didn't ask, inconsistencies you explained away, and having concrete confirmation that yes, something was wrong is vindicating your intuition, even though you wish you'd trusted it sooner. You could be learning to listen to your gut, to honor the small voice that notices when things don't add up instead of overriding it with benefit of doubt that people don't deserve. And this painful lesson is actually strengthening your discernment for future. What I'm witnessing in the exposure aftermath is the friend who told you is probably facing consequences. You're going to see social fallout where the person whose secret was revealed turns their circle against the truth teller, trying to isolate them, punish them, make them regret speaking up. You might feel responsibility to protect or support the friend who helped you. And while that's not your obligation, recognizing their courage and being willing to validate that they did right thing even though it cost them is decent response to their sacrifice on your behalf. So as you process revelation that just exploded your understanding of this situation, resist the urge to minimize what you've learned. You're probably going to be tempted to believe their upcoming explanations, to give them another chance, to convince yourself that maybe friend exaggerated. But why would friend risk their own relationships to lie to you? What would they gain from making this up? Trust that people don't typically volunteer to be the bearer of bad news unless the news is true and they feel morally obligated to share it. The secret is out. They're embarrassed. They're probably coming to try to manage the damage, to spin the story, to minimize what was revealed, to convince you that it's not as bad as friend made it sound. But you have information now that you didn't have before. You have truth. And what you do with that truth is going to determine whether this karmic lesson actually serves your evolution or whether you waste the intervention by staying in a situation that was always built on lies. Their friend freed them from having to maintain the deception. Their friend freed you from continuing to invest in illusion. And while neither freedom feels good right now, both are necessary. Let the truth do what truth does. Let it clarify. Let it clean out what wasn't real. And trust that whatever you build next will be on solid ground because you've learned to value honesty over comfort, reality over fantasy, and people who tell you hard truths over people who tell you easy lies. The karmic is mad, the truth is out, the embarrassment is real, and here they come, trying to salvage what their friend just burned down. Watch what they do, listen to what they say, then trust yourself to know the difference between genuine remorse and performance of remorse. You know now what you didn't know before. Use that knowledge wisely.